for us to just think about our own self. We can say through our own experience of how the aging is coming into being, how the aging is actually proceeding one after another. But then we know that we are not a permanent. Where we know that we are not really we're not cosmics. We know that we are undergoing a constant change. But the thing is, the problem with us is we are not really meditating on it. And so this is how we began from meditating on the on the gross level of impermanence. We're not talking about here the impermanent. We're not talking about the subtle level of impermanent. Gross level of impermanence, such as understanding how the buildings are demolishing and coming into disintegrations, and how are we ourselves, our physical body, through our own experience. There's a lot of changes going on in us as we age. So uh, so then we are not a partless. We're not a partless because we are as a self or the I or me or the person is pervasive to the past, present, and the future. And then at the same time, we're 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 actually constituted by a lot of different parts. So with this understanding, we're not a partless, and we're not that independent here. We're dependent upon it. We're dependent upon causes and conditions. We are remaining under the power of causes and conditions. For instance, we are dependent. Well, we are dependent upon upon some karma and illusions. So this it is because of this we have all kinds of experiences of suffering and happiness and so on and so forth. The suffering, the experiencing of suffering and happiness are all coming into being from its own process and conditions. So, so this is how we should contemplate ourselves on first begin from stepping onto this is the first step of meditating, deepening of meditating towards understanding of selflessness. And first one begin from meditating on the first level of selflessness and try one best to put an effort, exert an effort to meditate on that and try your best to familiarize yourself with such practice.
야, 나한테 대단한 도주 차대기 던주 여버지 그룹 탐지기 등에 남대 따라 야 따버를 마바다 마베스 다들 제가 계속 건강 마주치네 남대 남을 타와인 것이에요레스 모두 것을 시장 모두 원형도 미선 바를 무엇이 다 손들도 냠수 나올 자시스 모두 것을 연구하다 있나 무엇이 다 손들지는 공고를 마소 모두 정례에 삼는 마자성도와 인상한테 또 쉬었대 지금 섬지 춘이 무슨 또 통화라스 소자 전부 소바다 뒤집 장화라 라레베 춘성 군도 사자람베 세다 지다 섬지 춘이 무슨 통화세대 섬지 춘이 있는 시험도 최진 다음에 또 오시고요. 근데 대 무슨 통화라도 소사게 야심을 제거를 마도 연구요 말했어. 소자 전부 써봤다. 디좀 용와라 라레베스 라레 인저 투티디 디좀 마샤와체네 가지스 칼리제테이나 코토바티야라 까게네 디디데와 제가 또바드문도 줄주고요 말 라레베 근데 튼섬 꾼드스 튼섬 제네 꾼드베 지 사장은 배고 그래서 차버도야 예보jen에 차버는 예보jen에 자 이게 잡은 초가신 이게 잡은 초가신 이거 짜지는 네 또소 진지 또소 진지 아 럼주르베 또소 진지 럼주르베 배워 그러네 먼저 지레세 주번 초남기 시에베스 튼튼점 두순에 제벌자 양아자 제벌자 야자 안봉자对呢 내주나 넘버 답에 당연줄 제 예례신은 요거 짜지는데나 근데 동회 배가 제자 몸 되어있나 자동이야 답을 솜바에 도지스피 공대 라 좀바상스 야양한테 동샤 야샤 야양 동샤 야차结果说都是参与下班了。
年定宁不久，
我都是参与下班了，
年定宁不久，
难道你不加说的？但是现在短到这了马上说甚至去年我是都通完了，因为吵架全部杀过来，直播讲过来。直播讲完了，他吵啥也打呢，那么呢就写个有的。直播讲完了，他都是什么工资钱呢？你们来参与个这些人讲的呢，我别个吃个的是，这个你了些你现在接，那么就都有嘛，就对我自己的，我这样评论别个吃个的是，不查证的话呢，这位东方人那样大概的是呢。근데 상해 송환인사 만들 이제 제거와 그래서 다가 나중에 그 차세야지 동샤라서 왔더니 이 말을 지 야니제 되는 세네 근데 샤워 제거 그래서 샤워 제세도 돼야 이것도 시 사회에 거네 조가진도 탐지 샤워 제에서 조가서도 이것도 시대 근데 땡지도 때라 따르시 되는 영도 생기대 땡지도래 요새 가르치는 만주 뛰고 사서 유니요 야 control 말씀쟁이에 야 control 때인데 왜 뛰고 뛰지 영도 제도 몸따위요 말씀쟁이 때는 사대 왜 뛰고 뛰지 땡지도를 생계자를 생계 탐지를 밴데 두고 인생 감자 제원도 뛰고 몸따위요 제가 땡지도가 영도 생계지 근데 또 공도 성bat하면 저선치 순진이 또 있어요. 근데 예월에 하도 또 세지 신체 나야 매체냐 또 선치. 아니 뭐 꾸준히 또때 그래서 뭐 공부하다 그래서 면 대화다 돈이다 강사다음에 되게 공부해서 강가 뭐 꾸준히도요. 제가 또 이상한 건 샤워하고 제쇼스 아주 줄라 또 어디 맞추는 까 때문에 이것도 이제 숨어야
So now here next we follow our text here.
just following the commentary. It says, thus, okay. Thus, as the authoritative treatise on the Sutra and Tantra, and all the learned and realized masters in India and Tibet have excellently acclaimed this path. And although these are presented in the context of the preliminary practice, one should not think of them as a preliminaries, and one should instead undertake a practice in combination with the main part of the practice. So what it says here is now those are the above-mentioned practices are, although it is mentioned as a preliminary practice, one should not set aside as a preliminary practice, but one should combine this practice with our main practice or actual practice. So that is what is meant by should not undertake their practice. One should undertake their practice in combination with the main part of practice. Right? So then it says, since in general the seeing the mind's true suchness, which is emptiness of phenomena, it says mind true here. That the mind true suchness, referring to the emptiness of phenomena, directly depends upon extensive gathering of accumulation and purification of unwholesome karma and defilements. One should in the gathering and purification throughout all in between session and break. In particular, the ornament of essence states. Repeat 21 times each day, okay? The 100 syllable in accord with the right. In accord with the right here is Choga Shindu, which means in accord with the rites, but in accord with ritual. The rites of the ritual here referring to the 4 antidotes, application of 4 antidotes. This is what is meant by right. And as this would bless the bridges and so forth. And this will not continue to increase, so that supreme realized, so state the supreme realized ones. So engage in this in the after session breaks. If you repeat this 100,000 times, you will attain the state of perfect purity. It is stated that if one repeats the mantra 21 times on daily basis, it disturbs the increment of the downfalls. And if one repeats 100,000 times, even the root downfalls will be purified as well. So you should strive in Bodhisattva meditation and repetitions. Furthermore, with hundreds of repetitions of confession of downfalls, you should endeavor with emphasis and compassion and restraint practice, endowed with the full presence of the four powers. So there now what actually emphasized in this particular section is now in order to accumulate merits, we did emphasize on practice the Guru Yoga previously. So now in order to purify our negativities, then it emphasized on practice on the Bodhisattva. Then it says if one engages in the Bodhisattvas, the practice, and it will engage in the practice of the Bodhisattvas by reciting, repeat 1,000 times, 100,000 times, it will attain the state of purity. And then also and if one repeat 21 times daily basis, it disrupts the increment of the downfalls. So what is, for instance, because when we engage in certain downfalls or the negative acts, and the negative act, although that your negative act has been completed, you have acted and you have already executed and completed, but then the negative karma or the negativity that you have accumulated by means of a particular action, it increases furthermore. Continual increasement will take place. So therefore, to interrupt or to disrupt the increment of those downfalls, one engages in practice mantra 21 times. It will. Then if one does 100 times, one gains the purity, right? So all those need to be done on the basis of application of four antidotes. The four antidotes the first antidotes of the reliance, which is taking refuge in practice of taking refuge and generation of bodhicitta. Because normally when we engages in the negative deeds, we engages in negative deeds either in relation to the three jewels or in relation to the sentient beings. In order to purify the negative deeds, negativities accumulated in relation to three jewels, one take refuge in three jewels, which will purify the negativities accumulated in relation to the three jewels. Then generation of bodhicitta will purify the negativity accumulated in relation to sentient beings. Then next is that regret or the remorse, the great regret and remorse, with regard to the negative deed that one has committed in the past. And just like that, you have taken a poison. After taking a poison, that when you realize that you have taken a poison, how much regret and remorse that you will have. In the same manner, when it comes to the negative deed that you have done in the past, you should have that similar sense of regret and remorse with regard to one's past negative deeds and so forth. So then, the next one, the third one is in application of antidotes towards antidotes of not committing, not repeating such a mistake in the future. Then the fourth one is that actual antidotes, which is meditation on bodhisattva meditations and bodhisattva recitation of mantras, meditating on emptiness, and so on and so forth. So therefore, it is very, very important for us to, first of all, to purify our negativities. Without purifying our negativities, we will not be able to gain any realizations. We will not be able to gain the realization, emptiness, and so on and so forth. Because those are our negativity are serving as a hindrance for realization of our own, gaining the realization of our gaining the spiritual realizations. So therefore, it is important to engaging in the purification practice in conjunction with for application of antidotes.
Yeah, that Pinu Shawi now, in the same cool, there was a birthday which in the Kenya Machu, they come to one of the Kenya Mamulu Yana and the second jet to your Marwa. Kenya Tiba Sama, and the second point Marwa. Another Nagola, Tinso Mamu, Chimbaka, Maru now with the Kandi, Nakayata with Toyama. Tinso the end of the Nakantoy World. That didn't pay Mawai, what the Nichene, Kachimo, Peter, so the
So yeah, this is how our negativity become an obstacle and hindrance for our realizations. Just like that, you have when the golden statue is covered all those dirt and trashes and so on and so forth. So then you will not be able to see this. You will not be able to see the gold statues. And in the same manner, if the sky is completely clouded, so you will not be able to see the clear sky. So there are many different examples of how this negativities are serving as an obstacle for our realizations.
야, 따뜻해. 때는 대시 걔네 탐지기 중에 야와세지 주비 왕보 탐지기 넘버를 남대를 네 가진 순대지 랑게 자에 라마 되니 두순지 산지 탐지다 예매 담마 고조 순디베 다니도 머네 라두 제바함스 이제 머버지니 소한데오텔라 라두 세디 라미넨저치 비리 라두 제바함 랑자 라미넨저 곰테스 이거 리벤티네 소와 데바 네 야네 야도 유마체벌 제바네 내기 동보 데스 내가 체주 데스 아때 만져 나오는 나는 제나 람지 자와 기인 된소를 생성고요. 얘는 하단계 원도 람지 소자 라면 내줄 생긴다. 뒤에도 살는 거면 소자 생원이 나로서 제네 소자 채는다 소체로 왔다 요마로 어떻게 제작이요. 내지 동보 데스 조제모 아티시아 담보 슈슈게 깨치르 슈가 나 헤헤 콜라 나타 나와 담사모 두데스 도데 담마 제자완데 대와이 대와스 시송상 주지 사변지장 대나 왕굴 터비메 고조 숨라 숨볼 라마르 네번 토니 라마라 소와 다보 진lem주 제송상 담배장 파타마산지에서 담배장 라미 jamna orlami jamna kandu nesulet kandu mugu puji diriwasin kong diriwasin tamay barjewata jizun mele jang tomba usu chunwa zana rega lami nawanchal lami nawanchal zana jame 네 jingi, dame chur gom, so anyway, so atop, jume jingi jitu gom, xie somi xie ros, oda people de la xinyi tenzu te xie mai, te du katen sumden ji tayo la maa sen, ta katen sumden se du 왕골 토바 근데 유지 된시에와 근데 유도지 마마 나와 telada 그런 숨대세게 지난 주시하고 상대세게 말 근데 라마다 좀된 군도 좀뭐 내가 곰네 근데 소주 당나자네 라메 문에 산지 있는다 산지 만난다 소소지 오인다 소소 문에 당나자네 대체와이나 근데 제대로 죽어요. 소수 삼바튼 죽어요. 어쨌든 전에 아무 고민내야 조월 고민야 단인가라 고민야 근데 늘라 고민야 되게 고민내도 좀 나와도 어떻게 되다 라면내주 먼저 다들 가서 먼저 니시하고도 네 사장 제때네 라면내주 전에 다들 라면내주 돼야
Now here, let's read through the text first. So next, you should view your root guru, who is kind in three ways: the source of all goodness of this life and life beyond, and who enact the enlightened life of all conquerors and their children, and all the all the realized masters, either as individual or or the Buddhas of the three times, or alternatively as the embodiment of the three jewels, and engage in the meditative practice of cultivating guru, meditative practice of cultivating guru. So, otherwise known as the profound guru yoga. So there, sometimes it carries the same connotations, in the text such as cultivating guru, referring to the profound guru yoga as well. So guru yoga and cultivating practice of the cultivating gurus are have the same connotations. So to engage in uninterrupted supplications to your root guru on this basis, from the very bone and the depth of your heart, repeatedly, is of a paramount importance. So it's a very, very important practice of the guru yoga. The practice of the guru yoga is said to be a very, very important. It's a paramount importance. So because in the Lamrim, one's practice begin with Lamgisawa, which is the root of one's spiritual path, is it's a reliance upon proper reliance upon the spiritual mentor, the spiritual teacher, and in accordance with the tantra, then the practice of the guru yoga. The practice of the guru yoga must be taken as a soul practice. So therefore, both sutra and tantra emphasize on how important it is to practice proper reliance on spiritual teacher and the practice of the guru yoga. So then, when the great Atisha was approached by someone who asked him in a loud voice, "Oh Atisha, I would like to receive instructions," he replied, "Haha, my ears are in good condition. Faith is what is meant by instruction." Smith. So then here, it says, this is the master, serpent, which is Satya Pandita, states that's the person who has received empowerment, seeing that in Guru are embodied, the three jewels. If you supplicate Guru, in him will enter the blessings. And Tamba 2 states, the Padamba, the great master Padamba, 2 states, if led by Guru, you will arrive at your desired place. Offer him your legs, your admiration, and your respect, people of River. And then also the Milarepa, the Chichen Milarepa also states, "Oh Buddha, when you reside in the center of my crown, sometimes the vision of my Guru appears. When visions of my Guru appears, as inseparable as a big to you at my crown, and I visualize you in the center of my heart." So here it actually emphasizes on how importance of practice on the Guru Yoga, and so when we have gone through those the passages where it's mentioned about the Guru who is kind in three ways, right? The three ways here referring to the Guru who has given us, who actually bestowed us empowerment, and who actually expound the teachings of the Tantra and then instructions. So that is what's meant by kind in three ways: empowerment, expounding the tantric and tantra, and then the instructions. So therefore, where it says one must look at the guru its embodiment or the compendium of all this Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Buddhas, all the Buddhas, and then all the nature of all the Buddhas. If you have this, if you engage in such a practice, on a continual basis, then you will be able to receive the blessings. That the blessing will enter into oneself, and one's spiritual quest will be fulfilled. So then, when it comes to the when speaking about the visualization of the Guru, and there are different ways in which that one visualize the place where you actually visualize the Guru, at a crown, at one's heart, and at in front of oneself, and so forth. Sorry, so therefore, in this particular text, we find that there are two preliminary practices. The main two preliminary practices are mentioned, right? The first one is a purification of negativities, and the second one is emphasize on importance of Guru practice of Guru Yoga.
Yeah, that even 무엇이 자기 정보라 예술로 모두 누나양 동안 예외 이수요 제거돼서 무엇이 자기 정보라 처벌은 유에 요왔다를 예술 모두 자원 주공반에 롱고롱고치에 공부를 전에 특별 순탄 제외 차chen 소 샤제지 남자 제데스 제게도 제게도 네 샤제 남시레 장축 남순 톱이 탑 남지 차자 남지대 롱고 공매 랍송 보아스 다텔 세원도 기본 숨게 원도 제네 차자 넘버지지 지금들이 자요레스 다 담보년 되지 차자 첨부서도 가서서나 동보 숨는 처음부터 냥투 르마 예수인데 맨데를 레지 차자인스 가사 다음에 또 같아 최지 차자인 거 송스 녀모 저와 담세 차자인스 공부 하면 보고 하면 냥투 톱소나 공부 하면 매와이 냐면 대와 차자 치에스네 냥투 레지 차자 이시체 장주 선배 고숨 대인바다 바로 신주 문제와 레지샤자 장주 선배님이 영화 예수님 저와 당시 바로 신부 두다 문제와 제네 공예때는 레지샤자 세계 여러 레지샤자 대니 인 주마 어쩌버려 유모쩌다 유모쩌바 단대왔어 유모쩌바 단자와 걔는 죄지 찾아야지 죄제세도 죄매세도 다 본번에는 이남을 놓게라 얘네 죄제세가 이메지 희세가 걔는 죄지 찾아야지 라도 집에 먹고 되는 동생 찾아야지. 연등 머신제 다자주 상황은 대로 동생이 찾아야지. 동단 인지 로님과 찾아 정보를 니 찾아 정보 니 놓지 되지. 장주 선배 찾아지지. 다사마 있나? 사마 사이에 남달나 Ponya temba leja las. Ponya temba leja las leji chajada. Ane rikwe atu chajada waza chaja mamu yorwa. Otise. Losam kajur mandewa deni choji chaja. Losam yeme cheneta dojin devano tindi om chene. Lo umar shu ne tim sum chene. Ine shimta yume semda lomani ta kajur tindi sere. Mandewa deni choji chaja. Nyamba meba damse yin. Nyamba meba damse yin. Lanchi yihi monjur pas. Lanchi yihi se lanchi yihi te lo umar shu ne timsum cheba le chongwe lanchi yihi dewa chenpo sewe. Deda yihi monjur pa deni chaja chenpo wos. Da lanchi yihi se te 막 조름 그 체험한테 그래서 대체 자제체 무엇이야 오예 다들 주주주대요
그래서 So now, going through the text again. So here now, says as for the main instructions of the Mahamudra, so as for the main instructions of the Mahamudra, as I shall describe later, there are numerous perspectives that conquer Digimba, the Digumba, for instance, following what the text to the position of the Dragun, Dragun gives a presentation of the four cells, such as the great cells associated with the three vehicles. So three vehicles you're referring to the Shavaka, Pratikabha and Bodhisattvas. So those are the three vehicles. So each these vehicles, all the four cells can be explained in association with the three vehicles. So this is explained in the following. So it's pretty clear, next stanzas where it comes when we read through the stanzas. So the first it says, four profound cells. The means of attaining the three enlightenments. There are four cells of the path that which have been taught by the Dragun Sinner. So these are illustrated by the three powers. Okay, the body, speech, and mind of the Shavaka. Not being divorced from this is a seal of action. Realizing the self as a person. This is taught to be the seal of reality. And to be free from the affliction is a pledge. To go beyond the sorrow without residue of aggregate is the great Mahamudra soul. So it's just with regard to the Shavaka. And the three doors of the Bodhisattvas, referring to the Bodhisattvas, three doors of the Bodhisattvas, not to be divorced from the six perfections. This is indeed the seal of actions. To be free of illusion and elaborations. So here, to be free from illusion elaborations here. Here referring to the non-dual, the, the free from a dualistic view of emptiness. So this is the seal of reality. And so then the next is not to be solved by the stains of the self-interest. This is the seal of pledge. And finishing the test of emptiness and compassion. This is indeed great Mahamudra seal. And then from the perspective of the path of Tantra, to rely on a messenger is the action seal. Right? Then the inseparable conjunction of wind and the mind. So inseparable conjunction of wind and the mind is really referring to the mind and the wind being inseparable. In other words, the mind and its wind being non-dual, which is actually referring to again the Vajra recitations. Vajra recitations, and the mind and the wind, referring to the very subtlest mind, or primordially subtlest mind, and the very subtle wind are said to be conjoined. And this is the seal of reality. And then never degenerating. This is the pledge. An actualization of the spontaneous wisdom. So actualization of spontaneous wisdom is referring to the wind entering into one's central channel, entering, applying, dissolving. By means of this dissolving one's wind within the central channel, one generates what we call the simultaneously enlightened or primordial wisdom, which normally elaborates in the completion stage of the Tantra, which is also known as Whistle, the clear light. And this is the great Mahamudra Soul. And the liberation path of 2 more instructions, liberation path of the instructions, and bodily yoga and visualizations, and branches of the wind yoga are the action skills, generating the wisdom of bliss. This is called the seal of reality.
Yeah, but in the problem, to be Mama case, Lukim Chunkur Mibata, Longi Allah, Lejayi, Longi Allah, Lejayi, Devi he gave a day, Churchy Chaja, Shesha, Chava Meva, Tamsing Day, Sundu Chaja, Chimbuins, that the and to me, Mama, she wanted reaching Chunkur to see the meaning, Nangalunga to get the Leja Serious. Leja tell it then, long tell it then, that they were given, he gave it, Church Charges Serious. Chava Meva, and then they were given to tell her that Chasen Peva Meva Sermet, tell the Tamseki charge at it. So look, charge Chimbos. 다 현지 주고 매번 현지 주고 근데 또 미리지 want to 차제 첨부 세그레스 첨부인 제소만 따로 고로 첨부 전에 뺐네 돈이 매매 넘버 못 봐. 돈이 매매 넘버 못 봐. 이게 되니 차제 첨부 세트스 돈이 또 배 넘버 못 봐. 이시 상황들 인도 también numne nom도 저 también 가네 철 주자는 인도 너때비 이게 되세요. 대니 차제층 보시때 왜 뭔지 차제층 이 뭔지 차제층 그 도물 이 뭔지 차제 로주 도물 다른 산지 탐지기 때문에 이제 소소 탈원 내에 배송원들의 발기 주바당 냠는 탐지 라 연대벌 제바 차저친부 땀접을 자대스 다른데 내려오지만도 차저생한테 통을 넣어주려고 했나 산지 탐지기 때문에 이심으로 싸웠지 소소 타베 네 소소 타바 네스 당나서 매게 주고 추던데 소한테 네 장주선배처럼 아그처럼 되려고 근데 그래서 좀 벌지 주바당 냠네 탑지 라 예대를 제와 차제죠 그 탑지를 참견게 냠네 지가 차제친구 땀주를 자대 근데 뭐 위점부에 제대 다른 사원들이 벌지 땀집으로 쉐고요 레스토를 자대 시에서 대대를 제출은 파토 야 너희나 네 너만 이기 예외 이소 엘렌데 아무네 원도 제대 중세 예벌체 심어 얘기 용어 또미 시를 도벌을 쉐버스 단 바탕도 이유에는 동안이 나네 노력도 이유시에 대주라자 심어 막을 때문에 이게 유명한 상품을 시작하잖아 그 도마시에 손 어디 손으로
So now, starting from again here, the bodily yoga and visualizations and the branches of the wind yoga are the action. Wind yogas are the action cells. So here, here what it says here is now. So this the action yoga here really referring to the internal wind when the practice word is called Nirgitful, which is the bodily, the miracle will meditation on this. And when that happens, and that's the internal winds are known as the Lady Tiger, which is the action cell. And so therefore it says bodily yoga and visualizations and the branches of the wind yogas are the action cells, generating the wisdom of bliss. This is called the seal of reality. And then being free of attachment is its pledge. It's commitment or its pledge. And spontaneity is the great Mahamudra cells. So then next it says the great the Golotava, which is the goal name of the person, individual, was also known as one of the great translator. Schoenfeld has accepts. On the other hand, the non-conceptual wisdom is attaining emptiness itself as the great seal of Mahamudra. So non-conceptual wisdom is attaining emptiness, is referring to the non-dual, the free from the dualistically understanding of emptiness, which, in other words, is completely free from conceptions, conceptual understanding of wisdom, or conceptual understanding, conceptions. All conceptions are completely seized, and a very, intuitive. The understanding of emptiness, and not only just emptiness understanding, but also the non-dualistic understanding of the emptiness is said to be the great seal of Mahamudra. Then it says, for example, at the beginning of of history of the Mahamudra. He talks about the history of the Mahamudra. He writes, now I shall tell the story of the Mahamudra, which sells all the method of the practice and meditative practice of teachings of the Buddha, beginning from the foundation of individual liberations, precepts to the glorious square samadhi. So what he talks about, what he really writes here is now, let's hear the story of the Mahamudra, which when he talks about the story of the Mahamudra, it begins from the practice of individual liberation, vows, and talks about, it actually also talks about the bodhisattvas vows, and then sacred mantra and vows. These are glorious samadhi. And then it says that although there are numerous perspectives because of the division of the Sutra and Tantra, if summarized, they fall into two. Of those two, I should explain the perspective of the former greater detail. However, to indicate the brief text of the second perspective is presented first in the following. So, the former is referring to the sutra perspective, which is elaborate explanations and varieties of explanations. But this the second one is a more condensed. So therefore, the writer is like indicating that going through the second perspective of the will be presented in the first.
Yeah, tamari tari te jane. Tamatu ne ma ndo da ma ni ke ko su pe se tu tene be cheyate ene pe jwa ma mu shi ro chen dam ne ma mu chen ma she yon wa te yin ko do tu yon wi na ane sem chi chuni e chi to ya ta wi she de semji chuni se de te ma tun do lu ne che we no chue ji yan la yi me she ring de ta de lu mo e me chue ji che da ken de yo no chue se ne ra jin ne ta ji yu ji ri ni she ne che ta ne ji ra jin ne te semji ra jin ne lu to mo ne res to ni yi ba na to ni de yo mo she ji yo ma wa chue ji de me jo to ni te chue tam je de to ni lu yo re ka re se na te ji yo ma re ten chue ji mo da mo yo sa te de me ra jin ne ri mo yo re se te she ten ri ra jin ne ri to mo ni te to ji chue jin te ma den do lu re yin ju ji re se san ji ji de ne zu ku mo la do men te a chue ku mo la do men te la ta te samji chuni te toji chuje semte namjen mo ya no yo semte te me chuni te tabani tenji mo ni ko le no ne a mo do sanji te tunda la ta te tu ni she yo a do le ta na je le semji chuni se on ni wo se le se she yo 我是在这个语句，我是在语境句，我是你写的语句，我是在那三个等东西的语境句，我是什么的三块的。他第一个的语境句，我是第语句，我是第，但是现在的哪个要的，哪个的东西多都要，这个语多要几个懂到了。 다 되니마 이거 뭐뭐 시험도 이게 먼저 뒤에 또 고요 뒤에 또야 참 뭐뭐요 다 뒤에 뒤에 숨어요 얘네한테 또 발라 뒤에 제주 가래에서도 다니 뭐지 Georgia Tosa, Tosa, the Lamin and Tosa. And the Georgia doing some Gonde, Tonsha. And then, Yashala Soba Tinin, Shabache Shosam, Mazu T. Samuchini took the minute, teacher the Jerry, Osumi teacher. That also not call Jumapa down to the Samuchini Seri word. Seri no do, you can get some time with the air, only nine word. Now that you made to clear, the Maryland, that was the tell. What the you have to know, and the share what you do, and the Tomboy pitches you did. Sergeant Giatero, that way some content Munkasari incident, and a motion that critical sound machine. In that, that it took to Marathon the Tonsies around the mistake. Send you was there, Rajan was our tea, Koala took the name the Tibatiji, Yomayas, you think to check out much of a turn to some send you the Jane. And kasi yung kasi tangtut tanglela, mandi yung mento sama. Ito ko tayo tinisisyan tato to chakaya santo.
That's all.
Yeah.
So, both the sutra, the system of sutra and tantra, emphasize on the importance of understanding the Semgichi, which means in brief, both sutra and tantra, it is importance of understanding the reality of one's mind, or now what is true nature of one's mind, or the mind's true nature, in other words. So for this purpose, there are numerous teachings or the methods are given in the numerous the practice and numerous practice, the formal practice and so on. So now here, when it comes to the sutra system, talks about, although there's no difference in terms of, no difference in terms of the suchness, the reality of phenomena. When it comes to the ultimate nature of reality of the phenomena, there's not even the slightest difference among the realities, among the ultimate nature of realities. However, it actually, elaborate in a very different forms of establishing the ultimate nature of reality of phenomena and so forth. It's because of the actual basis, the locus of the entity itself. So therefore, there are many different bases and locus of the emptiness. So therefore, there's given many, numerous methods and skillful means of understanding the separateness or the emptiness of phenomena. So here, in the sutra system, there is a nature, the naturally abiding, Buddha nature, and the developable Buddha natures. So developable Buddha natures would situate the locus, and the naturally abiding is actual emptiness, which is residing within the developable Buddha nature. So then, so here, when once according to this is when one when one's own, ordinary mind, or the practitioner's ordinary mind at this point, as proceeded to the continual practice of understanding emptiness and so on and so forth, which will then become a cause for, which will then, become omniscient, it's the omniscient mind, or the wisdom of omniscience, which then the suchness of that particular omniscience is said to be the natural truth body. Therefore, it's said to be the purity of the two bodies would be accomplished at the end, at the moment that one gains the state of enlightenment. One will become a possessor of the nature of truth, purity, nature of true body of two purities. And so then here now, when it comes to this kind of tantric systems, we're speaking about that ultimate nature of reality is more referring to the ultimate nature of reality of the subtle mind, which is also known as the clear lights. So when speaking about clear lights, there are also two kinds of clear lights. The one is the objective clear light and the subjective clear lights. So the subjective clear light is the primarily the subtlemost mind, which is a primarily arising mind. So, and that is what is known as the subjective clear light. And objective clear light is reality or ultimate nature of reality of the primarily existence of existence, subtlemost mind. So therefore, this is what we are, so to understand this reality, and there are numerous kinds of the teachings in a very skillful means is given in the teachings of the Dhamma. And so therefore, this is what we are trying our best to engage in the practice, to understand and gain this attainment of this ultimate nature of reality of one's own subtle mind. So in order to do that, one, as we talked about earlier, in order to do that, one needs to engage in the practice of purification. One engages in importance of engaging in the practice of purification and accumulation of merits. To accumulation of merits, the practice importance of engaging in the practice of the Guru Yoga and purification of one's negativities and downfalls. One engages in the practice of meditation on Bodhisattva and the confession practice of the downfalls of reciting 32 Buddha's name and so forth. So therefore, although there are a number of students who have actually committed to engaging in this Bodhisattva meditation, recitation of Bodhisattva mantra, but I don't really know, how many of you are seriously committed to do this. And so then all of this, if one is done, all those practices and meditations, diligently from the depth of one's heart, then it will lead oneself to understand the nature of, understand the nature, or ultimate nature of reality of one's mind. So therefore, it is important for, first of all, that the most important part here is to ensure that you engage in the practice of accumulations and practice of purifications. So today, now here we will start our teachings with this much today.
Maybe anybody have without more session. Any more session. Maybe anybody have more yoga, long or negative attitude. Read last night something.
Guru Puja book, verse 84 for English.
Yeah.
Guru Puja book, verse 84 for English, page 64. Guru Puja, verse 84. Here is 91, 84 to 91.
Where we start, 84 we start.
We're gonna start from 85.
85, we start at 85.
We're gonna start it from 85 and
91.
yeah, to 91. 85 to 91.
Slowly.
Yes. 慢慢念。
Okay, 기술로 질문만.
Page 37, page 37. 37 blue paper.
第31页。
Dedication.
Page 31.
我旁人老爷过于心光的，念当的我旁于众人，今日生活定在家所以，下面学点话的，去渴望的原则他妈上街不绝。如果今朝马日佛第三，如果人说讲究成就人国界，马街汉南解决起，这万两万没万国界国子给我说，多年到万人国界，马街汉南解决起，这万两万没万。当年孔子给我说，天地中年，天华大仙界，人间皆可当街不抗上，人间不大的天中年，三年天华大德的就。
In the sacred land shone by snowbound, you are the source of all the goodness and happiness, all powerful salvation, singing counsel, beginning this world on house of God. You to this mirror and I sing, I feel it, I say, I feel it, for I need to able never able to do things in the precious good in my mind, I hold my righteousness, and I hold my noble come like the peaceful. In the precious night, realize where I hold my rights of God. And upon my not decline, but increase my and the source of goodness and goodness without my spirit and strength. And the things are only without my spiritual help. And the source of happiness and well-being, all the equality, who are suffer the Buddha. Come on.
愿胜普天法教遍传布，愿胜十法上世界康健，诸生大乐自在之眼前。 愿圣佛陀教义永增长。
Thank you. Next section is next Wednesday. 下一节是下个礼拜三7:30。
Hello. How are you? See. Yeah. How are you?
Good.
Where did you come from?
I came from Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, my average is 2 university. Yeah, get some.
Oh.
I want to come to Tara.
Where you live now?
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Go back.
No, I will, but yes, I will come here. Tara retreat. I am a good friend of retreat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. Everybody, thank you. Everybody too tired? No? Okay. Bye bye. Good night. Go to sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
记得下个礼拜三那个课改成星期三。下一个星期三的是改的时间，本来在 schedule 上没有。The next Wednesday class originally is not on the schedule, so we will have a Wednesday session. But October 3rd got changed. Yeah. Next Wednesday.
大家不要忘了，
Yeah.
这个礼拜三，
Yeah, there will be
礼拜
a,
3号最后一堂大乘法，下个礼拜3。
they,
So the 礼拜3 Sunday to the Wednesday. 礼拜3
no,
7点半。
next week we have Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Sunday will be the last session.
They added 10 Friday.
What? That's
Yeah, they
it.
added Wednesday.
We did not add Wednesday because
I didn't see that in the original.
October 3rd session.